Hello, good evening, everyone in Asia, and also good morning for our guests here in US. And also today we have a few participants from US as well. So welcome to our US College Sport Camp webinar again. Today is Friday, and I hope everybody doing okay. Stay safe, and I heard Asia already started open this week, and I hope you all still practicing social distances. Today, we have a privilege to have our good friends and good partner, and also very knowledgeable in the sport world. I let him give him his own background, but you will have a treat today. So everything you want to know about sports in the world, you will learn it today. And it's multi-sport, not just one. Club Med Academy, well known for tennis, soccer, golf, and volleyball. And I'm sure they are looking forward to add more sport into their programs. And again, welcome. Just want to do a housekeeping real quick. I ask everybody stay on mute to make sure everybody will be able to hear our guest speaker today. And also, if you have any question, please type in your question in the chat messages room. It's probably on the bottom right. I hope everybody hear me okay. Go ahead and put yes in the chat room if you hear me okay, so I know that you hear me. In that case, stay on mute, and if you have any question, just go ahead and type in your chat, and we will certainly ask you all your question to Scott today and have him answer. And also, we have two of the current players and young athletes at the Club Med Academy. They will be able to also share their experience with the Academy as well. So with that, Scott, welcome to US College Sport Camp.
Well, thanks for inviting me. I hope everybody can hear me. I hope everybody's safe and well wherever you are in the world. I guess Zoom calls are now a way of life for most of us based on the current situation we find ourselves in. And I think it has some serious advantages that as we're finding out with our academic school and our training, as our training's continued from around the world using this same platform. So we're fortunate to have it so that we can keep connected with everybody. George, thank you for inviting me in. Having met you and having some of the players that you sent our way in the program, clearly your program and what your efforts that you're doing around the world, or at least in your part of the world, are sending over some really talented athletes and giving us, making our job pretty easy. I wouldn't say it's easy, but helping us out with the athletes and the quality individuals that you're sending over. So we're thankful for that. It's morning time here in US. We're located in Port St. Lucie, Florida. A little bit about myself. I've been in the academy world for about 35 years. I've got two partners that work with me. We've been in this facility for just over 10 years, and each of the partners part of other academies. My two partners, Greg Brunick and Gabe Jaramillo, built IMG academies from the ground up. And then we partnered up with Club Med because we felt that there's nothing really like it in the world. Of course, I'm partial towards our academy, as everybody would be. So I wouldn't tell you, I'm only going to tell you good things about our program. But it's nice that you have some of the players and families that are at the academy, so they can keep me in check to make sure I'm being honest. But we really feel we have something very unique with our partnership with Club Med. Club Med is a worldwide resort operator and all-inclusive resort. So with the background of with our academy is all about high performance and developing athletes from start to finish. And we've been very blessed and fortunate to have done that with hundreds of athletes, taking them from very beginner all the way through to the top players in the world in our sports. My partner, Gabe Jaramillo, with the tennis, has worked with 8 number 1 players on the WTA and ATP tours, and 26 or 27 now top 10. And then in each of the sports, kind of our model for building the academies, and we've been in the multi-sport business for, like I said, if you've combined all of our experience, it's well over 50 years if you add it all up. But our method is to surround ourselves with great coaches, directors, and partners that can help deliver the dream for the students that come, because ultimately the players, they come to become a professional player, and they have something that's pulling at them in their mind and their heart that they want to go out and pursue at the global level. And we're able to provide that with the staffing and the facilities and infrastructure that we have. So we've been very blessed there. I'd like to show you a brief video there. I know, George, you had put some videos on the links that you had sent out, so some of you may have seen them. But I'm going to go into a screen share real quick, show you a video, and then just basically of our facilities, the Club Med. And like I said, we're in Port St. Lucie, which is north of West Palm Beach. We've got 3 international airports. Well, actually 4. We've got West Palm Beach, which is the closest, and we've got Fort Lauderdale is next in line, about an hour and a half away, and then Miami is 2 hours, and Orlando is 2.5 hours. So that gives you kind of a lay of the land of where we're positioned, and we're 10 minutes from the beach on the Atlantic Ocean, where we do some of our training sometimes and things like that. So let me just show you a video of the resort so you can get a feel for it. So that gives you an idea of our property. We sit on a 216-acre property. We're unique in that we have an on-site golf course, 18 holes, and all of our facilities, our soccer are on-site, our tennis courts, we have clay courts, hard courts, and our volleyball program has as you saw, the beach courts there, and our indoor facility is just off-site. There's that facility is just off-site. Our school resides right on campus, so the kids, one of the big advantages is that it's kind of an all-in-one destination where the student they live there, they eat there, and some of the advantages of our partnership with Club Med is that Club Med is very known for their food. And in the academy world, you don't have the food choices. It's a full service, all you can eat buffet. There's usually 10, 12 chefs made, on the floor at the meals, and you can have made to order things. So when you add up all our backgrounds with the sports delivery in each of the sports, we have the sports development part covered, and then we have also the infrastructure with the resort in the background that allows the students to kind of have a very comfortable lifestyle off of the court or the course or the soccer pitch or out in the, the beach courts. So they roll out of bed in the morning, they go straight to class, or they go right to their sport. Some of the sports we have dual sessions, and 2 sessions in the morning, 2 sessions in the afternoon. Each session includes a fitness component where we're doing fitness once a day, in most cases twice, depending. You'll do some functional training and skill development, just overall athletic training, and then you'll do very specific sports functional training. And then at the end of the day, a lot of times we'll be doing flexibility and body weight exercises for the younger kids and so on. So we have a full fitness staff that's here that services all the students. I happen as owner, I'm owner. Also, one of my titles is director of operations, so I am in charge of all the sports, all the school, and all of the operations of the whole thing. As well, my academic background is I'm a sports psychology consultant, so I do deliver the mental performance for all the sports, and that gives me a unique perspective on helping to manage each of the students. There's probably 5 staff members on property that interact with all of the students pretty much every day, or at least throughout the week. And that I'm one of them because I interact with all the sports with the mental performance. And then I've got our fitness staff that interacts with all the students every week, and also our teacher, our director of education, who sees all the kids in school and so forth. So one of the unique advantages of our facility too is that where we're located is we're able to attract professional teams that come in and professional players because of our coaching background. We've been doing it for so long and have developed so many players that our reputation helps us attract professional players. And as an example, I'm going to show you, do another screen share here and show you Inter Miami. Those soccer players out there probably know David Beckham started a club in Miami, and they came up and trained at our facilities because our facilities have everything that they needed. I show you that kind of video just to give you a perspective that our facilities can cater to professional teams, some of the best in the world. We've had some teams from Latin America, Penarol and Pachuca, that come in and they train during their off season for the soccer. We get professional tennis players that come in preparing for the US Open, French Open, Australian Open, or just come in during their training seasons. We had one of our students in the last couple of years they got their first Wimbledon trophy, winning the mixed doubles and finaling in the ladies doubles a couple of years back, Nicole Malachar, and she came right through our program. And so we have these kind of, this kind of venue that makes it easier when everything's all in one place. So let me push up this. This is a video that was on Inter Miami's Instagram page. Our facility, that picture that you see there is just similar to the one you saw with the drone shot or the aerial shot from above. So I'll let you take a look at this. Sorry about that. I didn't share the screen. There you go. Well, I got to watch the video twice where you guys only got to watch it once. Sorry about that. So basically that was Inter Miami, David Beckham's team that came up and trained in their off season to get ready for their inaugural season, which was going to be starting, you know, during this period of time that we're in now. And it's really fantastic because I know we have Poom that's on the call, and he might be able to share some insights to give you a perspective, because the teams, they eat in the same restaurants, they interact. Our kids get to, on occasion with the teams that come in, get to play games with them, you know, scrimmage games and other stuff, and they get to interact just in every place on the property. The property is not so big that it's you feel like you're lost and among hundreds of people. It's a nice, quaint facility that we call it a village, a training village that creates an environment that's very open and friendly. And I think that's why the professional teams and players like, because it's not just a big you know, sweatshop, so to speak, where you're just coming in and it's all sports and it's all this, which it is, but it's got that background of the resort as well. I should mention that our school, our academic school, is a K through 12 fully accredited academic institution. Over the years, we've been able, through our schools and through the help of agencies like George has, to place thousands of kids into universities with scholarships. I can say here at our property in Club Med, every single player that wanted to go to college, we were able to place in college, either through our network of coaching that we have, and or through agencies that we have partnerships with that help place students as well. So we've been very successful in that area in developing students overall. Our academic school, we've sent students through our academic school to every university that you can imagine. We've sent kids there over the years, from Division I, NCAA Division I, II, III, NAIA, junior college, and so on, in the different sports that we've been a part of. So we've been very fortunate to do that. This is what we do, is what we love to do. And as a final thing, before I maybe turn it back over to George, is we're hands-on. I'm one of the owners. Like I said, there's 3 owners, and we're out there every day interacting with the students. It's not, oh, you know, the owners are off to the side somewhere else, and that's something that you can with the other parents and so on. We're really out there every day on the courts and the courses and in the classrooms, checking in on the students. It's just the way that we like to do things, because we care about the kids and their development. And ultimately, parents that choose us have to feel comfortable. It doesn't matter what we have done for everybody else. They have to feel comfortable that we're going to take care of their child to the best of our ability. And so we try our very best to make sure that that happens, and that parents and kids walk away feeling that their needs have been addressed. So I will turn it back over to George. I don't want to take too long. If there are questions, I hope that you'll ask questions, and George, you can guide me through the questions and so on, and we'll answer them the best that we can.
Thank you, Scott. So, you know, now a lot of people, you underestimate make your presentation today, but I just decided to use your CubMed background on my.
Okay.
It's a wonderful place, and if anybody who been to Florida, and you have to go to Port St. Lucie, because it's along the, what you call, is there a river?
It's the St. Lucie River. It's an inlet that goes all the way to the ocean. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's on.
So, and then, you know, the first time I was there, probably like what, a year or 2 ago. It was an amazing place. It's not a normal, typical setting of the sport academy, because you have a wonderful partner with Global Blend CubMed. As Scott said, food is number one. So basically unlimited food that you can eat. Your kid will basically, nutrition, it's wonderful, but they will also work hard. So don't worry about for them gaining any weight or anything like that. Scott wouldn't never let it happen, right?
Well, I tell you a funny story is a lot of times part of the process of developing athletes is teaching them how to make choices. And there's different schools of thought on that, where we can mandate and look over them and make, and sit with them as they're eating, which on occasion we do. But part of it is like, if they go in there and they have too much, and then they've eaten, they haven't managed their choices well enough, they'll come back out onto the training field, and they will know right away that they made a mistake, because they'll feel that feeling when the coaches are demanding out of them what they're supposed to do during practices. So teaching them to make the right choices sometimes is being there and not letting them make the bad choice, but also letting them make the choice and then see what the result is. Now, ultimately, are in charge of them, but I think my personal philosophy is really developing problem solvers and creative thinkers. And one of the ways that I've learned over the years is by, unfortunately, making some mistakes that you wish you could have avoided, but at the same time, you go in there and you eat too much ice cream or you do something like that, you're going to feel it the next day and you're going to start making better choices. So anyway.
Good. All right. Well, today we also have two current athletes that are training at your facility, Academy, right now. One of them is actually my nephew, Poom. Poom, are you here? He's in and out. Okay, he's here.
Yep, I'm here.
So he is a soccer player. So he started your school last August.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Poom,
Yep.
could you tell us on the call here about your experience when you came here? Well, why don't we start with before you come here? What was your background in terms of school and also your soccer ability, and when you got into Club Med Academy and where you are now?
So I studied at Trail International School, and I play for Bangkok United in Thailand. And then I moved to Club Med Academy like last year. Yep.
Last August.
Yeah, last August, yeah.
Okay. So we are showing your picture, having a good time in the soccer training, and also at the beach volleyball facility there. So how many games and what could you go through, like what your daily routine at Club Med, starting from wake up in the morning, and then what time you have breakfast, what time you have class, and what time are you training, and what time you go to the bed?
Okay, so normally my roommate gonna wake up first. So I woke up at like 6:50, and then I have breakfast at 7 to 7:20, because the first class start at 7:30 until 9:30, and then we have training at 10 to 12, and then we have lunch 12 to 1 p.m. and we have class at 1 until 3, and then we have training 3 until 5, and someday we have the fitness program until like 6, and then we eat dinner, and then we have class at 7 until 9, and normally I sleep at like 9:30 or 10.
So you still be able to get 8 hours sleep, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. So you're training twice a day, one in the morning, 2 hours, and one in the afternoon, 2 hours. And then occasionally, I don't know, maybe Scott can add into this. What are the fitness program to for the soccer team?
Well, in each of our sports, we follow a strict periodization plan. For those that are not familiar with periodization, basically you prepare for specific periods of competition throughout the year. And so you draft up a plan in all areas of your training, your physical development, your tactical, strategic development, your mental development, and so forth, and your technical development. And then you work backwards. So if I have an event in January, well, then you work backwards and you say, okay, what do I need to do in December to prepare in all those categories? What do I need to do in November, October, from the start of the school year? So as an example, at the start of the school year, usually kids are coming back from summer or competitions and things. So you'll do a volume exercise with lower intensity just to get your body acclimated to what's going on. That's on the field. That's also during the fitness program where your exercises, it's not like if you just get out of bed in the morning, you're just going to go do sprints because you have to kind of get your body up and going. And then once you get warmed up and you prepare properly, then you can add more intensity and volume. And we do that same kind of periodization plan for the whole year, and it's mapped out by the day in each of the sports. So we know what we're working on this day, tomorrow, the next day, next week, the next month. Now each program's tournament schedules and competitive schedules are different, so the periodization plans follow those competitive schedules, and they're slightly different, but overall they're relative. The idea is to get the athletes prepared as best as possible. And you'll see them in this photograph that you've got posted. You'll see them training. You'll see them in the sand. Now that's on our property there. But a lot of times they'll do fitness. That could be a training. Poom would have to tell us if that day was a training day or if it was a more of an active rest day, because we train hard, we work hard, we compete hard, and we also relax hard. And I think that's what sometimes there's a misbelief that, you can never rest, you can't rest, you can't, and that's completely wrong. You have to build in rest and recovery into your daily routine. And when you rest, you need to rest right, and you need to relax and take care of yourself. And a lot of people think becoming professional means that there's no time for that, where in fact it's calculated to the day. So I hope that answers your question.
Good. So basically, not just go out in the fitness room and do your own thing. You have a plan and a strategy.
There's definitely every day there's a plan, and you can, Poom can share with you kind of what he does differently on different days, but I don't know if we have time.
Good. All right, Poom. Well, thank you for joining us today and sharing your experience. So with that, I will basically lead to first one, Polly Scott first. We have a question on this particular one, especially in soccer. Is your program offered to only the young athlete like Poom, or you have training for professional athlete as well?
We're a full, that's one of the unique things about us, is we're a unique training facility. Before I go on to that, I also wanted to say thanks to Poom for sharing, and also note that he's not only is he an exceptional athlete, he's an exceptional student of the game and academics, very much so as well. And that's really, in the end, the 90%, 98% of our players go on to university. So we have to prepare them. We train them like professionals so that we make sure that if that's an option for them, that they're going to have the best chances, while at the same time understanding the reality that the vast majority of our players and worldwide are not going to become professional players. They're going to need to go to schools that can honor the work that they've put in and get them an education. So I wanted to, and Poom is an example of both sides of the equation. He's a great athlete that has great potential to become professional, but at the same time is also setting himself up for academic success beyond football, if that's what he chooses to do. As far as answering the other question, what's very unique about us is that we handle every level of student, age and gender and so on. Boys, girls, adults, juniors. We have primarily, our wheelhouse is the kids ages 13 to 17. They come, usually they'll exhaust the competition in their local areas, their clubs or their programs that they're in. They're looking for some more intense training to fuel I call it fuel the dream. They're passionate about what they're doing, and they're looking for ways to take it to the next level. So they'll come from their smaller, local clubs and areas and kind of look for an academy like ours to develop. And that's really what we do. Is we usually have 20 to 25 countries represented in our annual student body, whom can always can attribute to that or attest to that. We've got kids from just everywhere around the world, which is it's really cool because they're all searching for the same thing, to get better and potentially become professional. But at the same time, with the Club Med infrastructure, we're able to manage and help service the entire family. I think from a business standpoint, we look for active families. These are families that have the whole family is sports oriented. Mom and dad, one likes tennis, one likes golf. The children like to play volleyball or soccer, and then the families get involved with what at the resort. So we've got active families and adults. We've got our adult academy where you can send groups of adults. We have large groups that come in to play the different sports. We've got high school teams that come for spring break to train. We've got professional groups that are of players that come. We have the ITF sometimes, which is a tennis federation, brings their groups prior to tournaments, and national federations like the German National Tennis Federation and so on. We're also, we had recently our soccer certification program, the first time outside of Europe that came to the property, and they had their conference here to train their coaches, and that was very successful, and they're coming back again. So that probably over answered the question, but yes, we're all levels, all ages, but we teach those players. Let's say you're a beginner or an adult. We train you with the same mindset that we're professional coaches, that we're going to train you at your level to push you to get better. So our kind of motto is, an hour with us is like no other hour you're going to spend with anybody else. If you're doing private lessons or if you come for a year, same thing. So. Okay,
good. So with that, I'm going to let you know that I will leave the poll open for another minute. And if you have a chance, just go ahead and answer, and then we'll share the result.
There was one question that I saw came in. It says, how do you tell the kids to set their mentality to be a professional player? Is it okay if I answer that one?
Sure, definitely. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's basically the mentality from the time they arrive through is based on our staff's expectation for them. They come into our property wanting to live the dream. They do not know the dream. They don't know what it takes to realize that dream because they've never done it. It's our job to show them the reality of what it's going to take to become a professional athlete. In so doing that expectation is set in their minds in every area, within our sports divisions, within our academic divisions, and within our academy life divisions. You see my background behind me. It's our seal. It's athletics, academics, and academy life. Those are the three pillars that make up the academy. And in each of those areas, we have programs to help them become better competitors, better individuals, and that can contribute to society when they leave us. So when they head out, the mentality is expected from them when they get in here. And if they don't meet that expectation, then they're going to be uncomfortable, because we're going to be helping them, pushing them to, you know, to excel beyond what they realized when they came here. So that was the one question. I hope I answered it correctly for that person.
Okay, good. Well, thank you. All right, so we will do today a little bit different, because you are multi-sport, and with your knowledge, everybody want to you know, learn from you and how they can send their player, their kids to your academy. So let's stay on the soccer just a few minutes more.
Okay.
With soccer, you know, we have Poom, former coach, Hagen, and also my partner in Thailand in soccer. So he's here. Hi,
Okay.
Hagen.
Hello, George. Hello, Scott.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
So he's kind of wonder about Poom, you know, and he really happy to see him excel well at your academy. So Hagen, could you tell us a little bit more about you and you know, your our partnership in Thailand in soccer?
Yeah, sure. Well, I came over to Thailand 8 years ago, and I worked 3 years for the German FA. And I came over, work in different clubs, professional clubs here in Thailand. 2015, working for the national team under 19 here in Thailand, where we win the Southeast Asia tournament. And the last 3 years, I work in this club where Poom come from Bangkok United. I was take care under 17, head coach of the under 17s. Yeah, and if I see in this chat room, I see also Taku. I will say hello to Taku. He's under 15 and under 13 coach in Bangkok United. So yeah, this was my way. So I work now 8 years in Thailand, and I think, George, is 4 years ago now that I work for your club in Korat.
Yes, sir. It's been a while. Well, welcome. All right. So that's good. Tagu, hi. How are you doing?
Hi, George and Scott and everyone, and Hagen, of course. And it's really good to see you all. And of course, really glad to hear from Poom also. Really good.
So, well, Poom didn't turn on his video. He's buffed up a lot since last time you saw him.
No. He, I think I'm very proud of him. He's been doing really well. So
Okay. Good. All right. So, welcome. Kun Lop, are you here from Laos? He has a soccer academy in Laos. So, not sure if he's still there. It seemed in and out. But okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Will be tennis. Let's talk about tennis. So, Scott, we got maybe only less than 5 minutes to talk about tennis. I know tennis is your bread and butter, and that's how I got pulled to your academy, because Gabe was my coach, even though I wasn't really in his program, because he trained Andre Agassi, Maria Sharapova, you know, Pete Sampras, but I was lucky to have his wisdom a little bit at Nick Military 30 years ago. And Gabe is now its owner too, right, Scott?
Yes, he's a partner. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a partner. So yeah, could you tell us a little bit more, and then I will invite Jedi and their family to speak and endorse about your training facility and methodology of your training program.
Perfect. Yeah. Gabe is, along with Tom Durkin, our soccer director, who's put 55 players in the MLS. Our model is really to, like I said, surround ourselves with professionals that have made their mark in the industry, and we've got that in every one of our sports. And the epitome of that is Gabe Jaramillo, who's there's probably 4 or 5 people in the world that have a resume of players that Gabe has within the sport of tennis. And the unique thing with Gabe is that he's on court every day with all levels of play. Sometimes you'll go to places where you know, the main personality or the main coach is only spotted certain days of the week or so on, but Gabe's out there all the time. And the impact of stuff like that is that, you know, you get this feeling when you come on the property, and of course I can't sell that. You have to come and see it and feel it for yourself. But it's a family type environment where there's a personal feel to it. It's not like, yes, it's training and blood and guts and hard work. It's also about people, and that's where we pride ourselves to that individual relationships and getting the kids, because we're going to expect a lot out of them. Because that's what the sports demand. If they want to be professional, the sport dictates and demands that they have to be serious about what they're doing. And we have to be right there alongside of the athletes to help them along their way.
Okay, good. Thank you. Jedi?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, how are you doing? Go ahead. All right. Here we go. So Jedi is currently trained at Club Med Academy. Could you tell us a little bit yourself and maybe your sister and also your family too? I know you moved to US from Thailand 5 years ago, right? Because your dream was to become #1 player in the world.
Yes. I moved to Club Med last year, and because I see that many coaches can help about me, and then I start practice with them, and I feel like very amazing. And then I start go there a lot, and then so my program training is every day I train, start doing fitness at 6 o'clock a.m. Then I train until 8 o'clock, and then I train by myself 8 to 9, and then 9 to 12 with Academy with the other coach, you know, and the coach there is very helpful, very have specific for every player. So all the coach know that what do I need, what other player need, and that's something that I really like it. That make me improve faster and faster all the time. So I think coach is very important to me, and they're doing a really good job. So I think it's really good. So then I practice till 12, and then start again at 3 to 5, and then with Academy tennis, and then I do fitness again 5 to 6:30 with the fitness coach there. And I train at that 6th day, and then Sunday I pick up day off. And my sister do the same thing. She just maybe have different training time, but we do similar same thing. And I really like the coach there. That's one thing. I really like Gabe because he's very big experience, and it's just people who have big experience will help a player go faster. So that's what I think is really good about Club Med.
Great. Yeah, you've been doing really well. Could a lot of people participant on the line here don't know who you are and your profile, but you only 17 now, right?
Yes, I am 16.
Okay, and then what's your ATP professional ranking?
My ATP professional ranking is 1,600 right now.
Okay, because you just turned, basically you turned pro but hasn't played that many tournaments, and then now you got hit with COVID.
Yeah, that's the thing. My goal is to be under 1,000 end of this year, but after the COVID, maybe a little bit delayed. But I think all the coach have really good plan. They already make a plan for me on July when there's a tournament starting. They can make me play right away. So now I'm getting ready with the fitness coach and coach from Club Med there, and then we are training really hard right now to get ready to use this 2 months or 3 months left to be useful and then go out there and play my best.
Okay, good. Well,
George, can I just say something real quick?
yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, Jedi, thanks for the kind words and description of the program. I know earlier on I said about the periodization plan, about how you have to build rest into your program. You know, since Jedi's been there at the Academy, I've never seen him rest. So maybe that's on the weekend when I'm not there. But he's always doing fitness, maybe twice a day, and he trains with our one of our fitness specialists, Ivan Guerrero, that is fantastic relative to tennis specific stuff. And I don't see him. I see him Jedi come out every day, and with the kind of energy that's necessary to become a professional player. And that's the biggest ingredient, is that desire, the ability to find a way to bring that energy on the table at every practice, and that's clearly seen every time that Jedi is out on the court. So wanted to share that with everybody.
I'll keep up the good work, Jedi.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. And hopefully the tours open up soon, and you'll be able to follow your dream again.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. And there was one question that came in and said, what is the right age to go? Does the Academy let them prepare for SAT to get into college? Can you get a scholarship here depending on your ability? The answer to the first one is, what age can they go? They can come from, our youngest full-time student is 7 years old, but they have not a boarding student. Their families move outside of near the out back gate of the property. They rent places or houses, and then they drive the children in. So they can start. The right age for them is, it varies depending on the individual. Typically, to really start doing things around 12, 13 years old. But with the younger kids, if the family's there, we've had one of the girls that's top, she's in the 16s in the US. She came to us when she was 9 years old. And that was a good age for her to come based on her maturity, but typically around 12, 13. As far as SAT goes, yes, we're a full service SAT. Part of our regular curriculum is SAT prep. So that is part of the curriculum. So if you come visit as a short-time student, you can take, along with your, let's say you stay for 2 weeks, you can also do SAT testing prep during your stay. And then, yes, you can get scholarships depending on your ability, based on the school that you choose and so on.
Okay, good. Thank you. So if any tennis question, this is the time to ask, because we're going to move on to the next sport now. Tennis 1, tennis twice. All right. We move to golf, Scott. All right,
okay.
Before we get to golf, I'd like to introduce our good partner now in Indonesia, Marcel. He with the Indonesian Golf Association, and he joined us today. Marcel, good evening.
Hi, how are you, George?
Hey, how are you doing? I like your background there. What's course?
I think it was, I don't know, I just took some random place in the net.
Indonesia? No.
I think it's somewhere in the US.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I thought Indonesia course looked nice. But welcome, and please tell us a little bit and about your, the stage of golf in Indonesia, especially during this time with the lockdown and everything. And want to introduce you to Scott, and they have a wonderful program at the Club Med Academy. Not many academy, or I don't even know one that have golf course on property. Okay, and this is it. Go ahead, Marcel, please.
Hi. Hey, thank you, George. Thank you, thank you, Scott. My name is Marcel Yaakob. I'm with the Indonesian Golf Association. I'm the vice chairman for development in elite, amateur, and junior. Right now, during COVID, we don't have a lot of things to do. So we develop a program for the juniors and the elite, amateur to basically stay at home, We gave them some fitness program to do at home. We provide them with some driving mat and some net for them to at least keep on swinging. And we do have a program with the sports psychologists where they can do one-on-one with Zoom or WhatsApp call. Most of the golf course right now is 90% closed. Some of them are still open, like one day open, one day closed, and their limit on people can do driving range and how many people can go play in the course. Usually is one person, one caddy. Now is one flight, one caddy, and that's also depend on, they have to follow the rules of the local government. So for the juniors, it's basically the same thing. So we try to keep everybody safe, especially the kids. We encourage them. We encourage them to keep staying at home and work out the program. At least keep your physical conditions and your golf skills at above 50% or more. So hopefully, when this COVID things is over, they're good to go.
Good. Scott, I hope you don't mind before you, can you tell us a little bit more about your golf program? But while you do that, I want to show this picture to everybody.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Marcel, we're pretty much in the same scenario. We're putting together. The course is still closed at the moment, based on local government guidelines and so on. The parks and local areas are starting to open up, and so we're putting together what we call our SOPs, our standard operating procedures, for when we open up, and how golf, soccer, volleyball, and tennis is going to look differently after everybody's allowed back to competing and training, because it's a different world. So at the moment, so we're going to have to go through that process of reshaping what we need to do and how we need to clean the clubs and social distancing and all those things. So I feel what you're going through, and I think if we just stick to it, we'll be fine, and we'll get back to where we need to go. George is showing some items of Tiger and his son that we host on property. 6 U.S. kids, I think it's 5 or 6 now, U.S. kids tournaments. It's for entry-level golf events for kids that are just getting into the mix. And Tiger had come out, picked our venue. He lives a little south of us, and picked our venue and event to come out and bring his son out to play. And he played, I think it was 2 events. So it got all kinds of traction and stuff like that on social media. But it was fun, and it was, we're kind of familiar with, obviously, Tiger's an exception because he's a legend in the game. But we're, as a property, as an academy operator, used to having athletes of that caliber on property. And so also too, when you become an athlete, at some point Jedi and Poom, if they get to that place where they're going to have to decide to become a professional player, the psychological component that really gets them going into that, where they start to believe they're going to be a professional player, is exactly that. When they believe that they belong with that caliber of athlete, that's when you become a professional. You have to adopt that mentality. It's something that we try to train the athletes for, so that when it happens, they'll be able to step right into those shoes. But for a lot of the athletes, they work really hard, but they don't really believe that they belong there until that moment that they do. And once they do, and you're standing right next to Tiger, and you're saying to yourself, I belong in this level of play. That's when you really can start to begin your professional journey. Before, it was your junior journey, and you work hard and you learn all those skills. but there's a transitional process that you have to learn to become a professional, and it starts with believing that you belong in that category of athletes. And what's unique about our property is that you have athletes, obviously Tiger, as I said, is an exception, but if you're training with like the soccer as an example, and Penarol team comes, or Inter Miami's there, and we had the Washington Spirit, the female, the ladies team come, and you if you're sitting there eating dinner, talking with them, or competing against them, it helps you start to believe that you belong, because now you're in the environment. It's not just somebody you see on TV or somebody you've dreamt about your whole life. They're actually there, and you get to see that they're just people too. They've got problems, they've got weaknesses just like everybody else, and that helps the process. So that's a unique part of our program. And with our golf program, we've got our director, Matt Fields, has been delivering players for years, and he was mentored under guys like Hank Haney, Gary Gilchrist, and Peter Krause. He was mentored with those guys and has adopted many of the methodologies, but also has developed his own. And he's a passionate guy as well. So we've got, in each of our areas of sports, we've got people that have been there and done it, not like, oh, they're going to do it and we've done it. And that people a vote of confidence when they're picking an academy.
Okay, it's good. So if I miss anybody in golf, could you raise your hand, or you can just open the mic and ask Scott any question about golf program at Club Med Academy? Okay, so all right, well, let's next one. Well, I'd like to introduce you to our partner and good friend from Malaysia. I am not sure about if Siva on the line or his association on the line. Could you let me know? Raise your hand. If that, I'd like to introduce you to Puyi, also from Malaysia, our good partner. And she's on the line right now. Hey, Puyi, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thanks very much. So much. Thank you so much for such an insightful your academy. Love it. Very quick introduction by myself. Basically, I think badminton is actually a very popular sport in the age. It's about 18 years already. So very similarly, we have our own properties, we have our own facilities, we do our Badminton Academies, camps, and we also do sports as well as sports events and tournaments. So we are a one-stop center for everything in anything badminton. So it's actually a great pleasure to actually meet of you, and then of course exploring of different things about the sports as well. I think all of us has been, in the sports industry has been affected by COVID-19. I think all of us has been experiencing that. So we have all doing things also on the virtual training. So that's actually what we're actually doing right now for our students with the games and things like that.
Good. Puyi, your sound is in and out, but you know, I just want to let you know that Scott, I know US we not in the badminton, but in Asian world, Puyi facility, it's just like yours, but in badminton world, and she doesn't even have one; she have 3 academy, big one. So I don't know, maybe 100 courts. How many total courts do you have?
We have about 30 over courts.
Per each one of them, or all 3 of them?
All total in 30 courts. Yeah.
So 30 in each one. So she had like 100 badminton court. It's huge. It's one of these days, Scott. But
well, I'll have. If we're going to start a badminton academy, I know exactly I'll go to.
Yeah, no, but she also involved with other sports. That's why we are a good partner. All right, well, thank you, Scott, and I think we cover all the sport. I'm not sure is anybody online for volleyball. Do you want to touch on it a little bit for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, I'll just say a little bit about volleyball. We've got our staff is very qualified. We've got some AVP professionals. It's actually a husband and wife, Piotr Marciniak and Kaya Sawala, and then Melissa Piazza, who is on our national team here in the U.S. And we do a hybrid volleyball program. We do beach and indoor. So our athletes train both beach and indoor. We've got 9 internationally approved courts on property for the beach courts, and then we've got an offsite facility that we use for the indoor. And so we do club teams for indoor. Do basically with that schedule, that hybrid schedule, the athletes are playing all year round. If they're not playing their beach season, then they're doing their indoor and vice versa. And that's one of the sports that we're really trying to get off the ground as well, because the opportunity for scholarship in beach volleyball in the NCAA is now greater because the NCAA has sanctioned beach as a scholarship sport, particularly for the young ladies. And there's just so many volleyball players around the world that we're excited to have that venue. And it's the same like the other academies. It's all plugged in, and they do it's the same where you have the sports, academics, and the academy life. So if there's any questions about volleyball, then absolutely let me know.
Good, wonderful. And I know, we talk about basketball. We have our partner that's joined us from Thailand. He's actually still playing professionally. And Pam and Oak, could you introduce yourself a little bit? And hopefully we will have basketball there one day.
We have a basketball court, I know that.
For sure, duh. So my name is Palm. I'm still playing active for the national team and still coaching. So I'm just no P George is Z. We call P because we respect the people that's older in Thai.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we just running the business about basketball. Academy is not that so much popular in Thailand about basketball camp, because I went to the state 4 years about learning the basketball camp in the state, such as the LA, UCLA basketball camp, Nike camp, all over the California. So I'm lucky that have the Kobe dad, Jelly Bean Bayan, to be a coaching. He coaching me for 3 years. So it's very good time. And we just hopefully to send the kids in Thailand to study in the state, to play in the NCAA. That's we working hard right now to send any kids in Southeast Asia. But I'm just hopefully in Thailand first and play basketball over there and improve in the basketball into close to the state. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So right now I'm doing the online basketball to teach the kids around Thailand, to give them the opportunities and inspiration to play basketball, because in Thailand it's not really the popular right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basketball. All right. Well, thank you, Pam. And drive safely. Are you still driving?
Yeah, trying. I went to meet my friend at the house to talk about the basketball project. So
okay.
Hopefully go back home before 10.
All right. Good. Well, thank you, and drive safely. Okay.
Thank you, Josh.
All right, Scott. We got the last question came in. So last 5 minutes. So I would say, and it's a good maybe good closing question too. How can you tell if the kid set mentally to be professional, and if not, how can Club Med Academy can help that kid?
Well, it's just like you don't have to be a professional to a coach to look when you see somebody's passionate about something. And the number one ingredient for becoming a professional player in my experience has always been the energy and the passion to do what other people are not willing to do. It's not what they do that's so magic, because there's a lot of people that have talent, but it's the extra stuff that you don't realize that make the difference. The ability, like a Jedi, for whatever reason, he's been able to construct his day. His parents have helped him organize, and he's got his team behind him. But he comes every day and puts everything he's got out on the court or out on the training field. What we do is we set the expectation. And it's really not that we set it, it's the sport that dictates. Because the sports, as they are now at the professional level, in 5 years, by the time let's say Jedi gets to the point where he's going to become, he's going to make that jump into the top 200 or into the top 100 or whatever it might be, let's say that's 3 years down the road or 4 years down the road, the sport's going to be different then. So we're not training for what the sport is today. We're training for what the sport is going to be, because the athletes are going to be fitter, they're going to be smarter, they're going to be, those types of things. So from that perspective, we set the expectation. So they have to know when they come in, if they have already that mentality, then they survive easily, and we work and we sweat and we get it done. If they don't, then they're in my office a lot more. So that's kind of the path of it. And then my job is to help them get to the understanding where they understand the what's ahead of them, and they accept it, and then they're able to then deal with the difficulty that's ahead, because it is certainly not easy. And so they, like I said, then we'll work with that individual. If we don't feel they're ready and they're not meeting the standards, then they'll come in themselves and ask for help, which is great.
Good. And I like that. You train them to be as a future, not today.
Yeah.
And you are the academy to develop players, to soccer, golfer, tennis players.
Well, and in the end, the reality is that we're all human. So regardless of the sport, although there's differences in sport, and as I got into the different sports, the fundamentals are all the same, because we're all people. So we still get tripped up on the same things that, whatever trips up a golfer, trips up similar type things, trip up a soccer player, because they have to look at themselves in the mirror. And my job, or our job as a program, is to help clear their mind and see what actually is out there, so that they can actually focus in the right way and stay in the moment to perform their best.
Great. Well, thanks again. So we come to the end, Scott, and thank you for your time, and thank you everybody on the call today. And I will send you an email of this record, so that way you can keep replaying and hear your thought again. Thanks again, Scott, and
all right.
Stay safe, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.